And welcome back, and it is the 30th of March, almost end of month, further maths 5 a day, and let's just go straight to the first question. What do I have? Oh, this is very nice. Factorise 20. Now, the reason this isn't very nice is because 20 could be 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5, and then 6 can be 1 and 6, so this is going to be, so normally I would say good guess. I'm going to do the algorithm method here, I think, because I think it might be slightly easier. And even then, I don't think it's going to be easy. So 6 times 20 is going to give me 120. Now, the other thing I would notice is that's a minus and that's a plus, which means both my things are minus in the middle. So in other words, I'm going to write it out so I don't forget to do it, because I forgot to do it a couple of days ago. In other words, I know it's a minus in the middle. Now, what am I doing? I need the factors of 120 that add to give minus 23. So let's just try some numbers and then we can go up and down. So the obvious one is 20 and 6. Well, 20 plus 6 is 26. That's too much. Let's go down. So I've got 15 and 8. 8, 15. Yeah, that's right. 15 and 8. And 15 plus 8. Okay, so that's worked. So minus 15 and minus 8 give me plus 120. But minus 15 minus 8 is minus 23. So that works. So 20x squared minus 15x minus 8x plus 6. In other words, I've broken this down into two things. Haven't changed it, I've just broken it into a sum. Now, factorise the left-hand side, gives me 5x, 4x minus 3. And factorise the right-hand, I've got to be careful with the negative here. So it's minus 2, and that leaves behind a 4x. And take out a minus 2 gives me minus 3. These two things are the same, otherwise I've got a problem, so that's good. Which means my final answer is going to be 5x minus 2, 4x minus 3. And let's just write that slightly neater because I don't know that. So 5x minus 2 and 4x minus 3. Good question. Next question. Oh, this looks ugly. ABD is a straight line. Okay, good. Calculate the length of BE. Well, thankfully it doesn't say give reasons, so I can just do it. I'm pausing while I just look. I mean, basically I'm going to have to work out this, then work out this, and then work out this, aren't I? So I'm just going to have to do three calculations. Right, let's just work my way through. I'm just going to call it triangle A, B, and C, just to avoid me having to draw three triangles, because I'll talk to what I'm doing. So triangle A, well, that is trigonometry, isn't it? Because I've got an angle of 36. I want the opposite. I've got the hypotenuse. So therefore, sine of 36 is equal to the opposite, which is BC, divided by 6, which means that BC is equal to 6 sine 36. And I'm not going to work that out because I prefer to use exact values along the way. Okay, let's look at triangle B. So triangle B looks like Pythagoras because I know what BC is, I know what CD is, I'm trying to find out what BD is. So I can use Pythagoras on triangle B. So therefore it must be the case, let's write B here. So it must be the case that BD is equal to, well, the hypotenuse is 7.4 squared. Take away, now remember I didn't work this out, so I'm just going to write 6 sine 36 squared. I'm going to put that all in my calculator. So calculate rate, and that gives me 6.505559615, which I'm just going to say, and I'm going to use a few more because I want a final answer to be correct. So 6.5056, that will do. And that's in centimetres, but I don't need that because I need B is what I need. And then in triangle C, now triangle C, I know what BD is, I know what DE is, and I know what the angle in between is, so it's a cosine rule question. So therefore BE, I'm going to do this all in one go, it's going to be a little bit messy, let's give it a go. So it is going to be BD, that I've just worked out, so 6.5056 squared, plus 25 squared, so that's my B squared plus C squared, minus 2 times 6.5056 times 25 times by cos of the angle in between, which is 110. And notice this isn't a fraction, it's just I can't write it all in one big line. So get my calculator out, and I'm going to do this even more carefully. So 6.5056 squared plus 25 squared minus 2 times 6.5056 times 25 times cos 110, close my brackets, and that gives me 27.9 centimetres. I am in centimetres, yes, it doesn't give me any accuracy, happy with that, question done. Deep breath, because that's quite a tough question. Actually, it wasn't that hard, was it? It's just being careful with your working, but 3 different bits of trig to sort of deal with there. Good question. Next question. Work out the matrix AB. Okay, so this is just a standard matrix question, isn't it? So I'm going to write it down here and then show the bit in between. So A is 2, 3, 4, 1, and B is -3, 1, 2, 3. So therefore AB is going to be 2, so top row times left column. So 2 times -3 is -6, 3 times 2 is 6, 0. Bottom row left column, so 4 times -3 is -12, and 1 times 2 is 2. Top row right column, so 2 times 1 is 2, and 3 times 3 is 9. And bottom row right column, 4 times 1 is 4, 1 times 3 is 3. And let's add all this up. So -6 plus 6 is 0. -12 plus 2 is -10. 2 plus 9 is 11, and 4 plus 3 is 7. And that is going to be my final answer. Question done. Next question. Given that gives me a function, show that f of x is decreasing. Now, the point of this question is you need to know decreasing specifically means that f dash of x, the first derivative, is less than 0. So don't talk about it going down or anything. You have to talk about the change in gradient, in other words, or the change in y, or the gradient. In other words, you're differentiating. So let's differentiate. So if I differentiate, so f dash of x is equal to -3x squared plus 6x minus 7. And I need to show that it's always decreasing. Now, it's not easy to do this, so I'm just going to have to complete the square and then talk about it that way. So I'm going to take out a -3, which is going to give me x squared. Let's do it this way. So x squared minus 2x minus 7, which is -3 times x minus 1 all squared minus 1 minus 7, which is -3x minus 1 squared. -3 times -3 is +3, minus 7 is -4, which gives me that. Now, again, if you just watch me do that, great. But it's worth having a go at that just to check you can get to the same place, because people are notoriously bad at completing the square. So again, double check it. Now you need to make a convincing argument now. So my argument is going to be that this is greater than 0 for all x. However, this is a negative. Again, all the examiner is looking for you to do is show understanding. So this is a negative, which implies less than 0 for all x. And then I'll just note also that this is less than 0. Now, again, I probably do it slightly neater than that in exam, but I'm just showing I understand that a positive number multiplied by a negative number is always negative. Take away a negative, or take away another number, it's going to be even more negative, which the point is it is negative for all values. Got to be careful because I haven't actually answered the question. So therefore I would say, and so therefore decreasing function. I'll probably just reference the question as well. Otherwise I haven't actually answered the question. I just said things are negative. That's it. Question done. Again, nice mix of questions today. Not too bad at all. Interested to see what we get tomorrow for the last day of the month. Either way, like, subscribe. See you tomorrow. Thanks all.